everybody.
Sean and Kelly here, Price and Price Group of Samson Properties, and what are we talking about?
Today we're talking about the 3 worst things about living in Northern Virginia.
All right, it's gonna be fun.
Okay, so we spend a lot of time talking about the pros of the area, how incredible everything is.
How much we love living here.
Yes, and there will be plenty of other videos for that, but this one is all about
the 3 things
we hate the most.
And I think we're gonna save the one that's most personal for you for last, because I think it's gonna surprise you guys what she hates the most about Northern Virginia.
Do you think it'll be surprising?
I think it'll be surprising.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, all right, so the first thing is, everybody knows the answer to this. If we say to you, what do you hate about Northern Virginia? If you live here, the first thing you're gonna say is you're going to say the
traffic.
That's right, that's right.
Yes.
So the traffic here in Northern Virginia is hideous. So one of the big things we had to get used to when we moved up here was, hey, where we're going, it's only 1.9 miles, so it should take us maybe 5 or 10 minutes. That's a 30-minute drive here.
Everything is like at least 30 minutes, right? I mean, that's really, really ridiculous. But the pandemic was kind of nice when everything was shut down because we owned the roads. You guys thought that everyone stayed home. Oh no, all of you home shoppers and realtors, we owned the roads back then.
That's
so just don't look at the traffic accident reports. Wasn't us.
Very good point. So we did have the benefit of learning the roads and everything at that point. But you know, in most places where you live, if you're traveling via interstate, you're like, okay, if it's a 10-mile drive, okay, it's gonna be a 10-minute, maybe a 12-minute drive.
But maybe that's just flatlanders, right?
It could be.
It's probably not everybody. So Texas, Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, flatlanders where you average like a mile a minute, right? That was just like the good guesstimation.
Yeah.
And remember back home? So from Destin, we have a nice little slide to show you. This is where we live.
Yes.
Okay.
Our one lane road.
And I, believe it or not, everyone's going to be like, oh, cry me a river, right?
Yeah.
But I would take this any day over going back to that. And you agree, right?
I do. Now, I say one lane road. I didn't mean that. It's one road that accessed everything. All the cities, everything. You have one way to get there.
One road, east to west.
Yeah. So if it was jammed up with traffic.
And tourists.
Yeah. Now, you could have some back roads to skip around and get back up on that.
For like a couple of blocks.
Yeah, and then get back on that road. But, you know, the tourists figured that out eventually because GPS came in and everybody started taking
GPS.
it. Yeah, ruined it. So for us, the traffic, it's bad, but it doesn't really bother us because we got used to that with tourists and everything and just having no options. So here it's like, oh my gosh, we're stuck on this road. Take a right. Let's go explore.
I was flabbergasted when I learned that people who've lived here for years and years still use GPS. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't know your way around? No, you use GPS. Even when you do, number one, you can't really always know your way around here because everything is changing and moving and growing. But also, it helps you learn like where to avoid because of traffic and all that kind of stuff. So
well, I personally was not amazed because I drive every day going to show properties and I'm like, how in the world did people even do this without GPS? So I couldn't imagine being on a map trying to figure out where the heck I was going.
They were insane. Okay, so traffic is one of the very worst things.
And a sub category of traffic would be like the bikeability. There are a lot of areas where there are bike lanes.
You say that's a bad?
I think it's a bad because like in Arlington you have bike lanes, in some areas you have bike lanes, but like where we are in Great Falls, we can't ride a bike out of our neighborhood.
We don't even have a shoulder.
Right, there's no shoulders. So there's not a lot of bikeability. And now we have a really great WNOD. We don't have to go through all that. But anyway, but traffic is number one.
I'm going to cancel out bikeability from your.
You're going to take it away? Okay, all right. So I'm going to leave it in here to show that she canceled me. All right. Number 2, and this is also something that we hear constantly, and it hit us when we moved up here. We were totally shocked by this, but it is the
cost of living.
Yes.
I mean, I had visions of grandeur.
Yeah, because you move up here and there's so much money up here and there's so much opportunity up here.
And I was like, Mama's gonna get a basement. Like, you can't put basement in the sand at the beach,
That's
right?
That's
We're gonna get a basement.
We just sold our little mini mansion in Florida. We're gonna come up here. We're gonna get another.
We sold it for like $400,000. No, well, I mean it was
500. We sold just over $500.
$500,000, and we're like,
Yeah, we got the money. We're coming up here. That wouldn't even buy us a condo. That was crazy.
Plus those condo fees.
That's right, condo fees. That was ridiculous. So, yeah, the cost of living up here, real estate prices are obviously the top in the nation as far as median house prices.
Try. I meant true.
Try. False. The other thing, the good side of that though, is that the income here is phenomenal.
The income is.
I mean, Loudoun County and Fairfax County, one of the two richest counties in the country.
Yeah.
So it counters. I guess it kind of makes sense, but it is ridiculously expensive
I
up
have
here.
a hard time with the state income tax.
Yes.
I'm like, can't there just be a way that our cars are still in Florida? But no, there's not a way, by the way.
So that's not even a state income tax. That's property tax. It makes me mad every single year. You buy a car, and every year you get a bill.
Even if you lease it.
Even if you lease
And
it.
you've this isn't.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
yeah. You have to pay
let's not
tax
get us
every
started.
year on.
No,
Okay.
let's-
We didn't even put that
I
on
just
here.
canceled you
Property
again.
tax. Property taxes.
Okay.
All right. Anyway.
Deep
Okay.
breath. It is worth living here though because, look at
Yeah.
everything, the infrastructure and all of
We
this.
have the metro.
I will
yeah,
still take it, even though it sucks.
every day. That's right.
Okay.
All right. On to item number 3, and
Do I get a drum roll?
nobody will guess this. It is the fact that there are
Ticks! That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look. Those are bullseye rashes of Lyme disease right there on my back.
So when we first moved here, we went on our first hike. Now, we didn't hike a lot in Florida because there wasn't
It was
anywhere to
kind
hike.
of like a walk in woods.
Yeah, it was a walk in woods on a trail that was the size of a road.
Yeah.
But in order for us to go, because Deary here is so worried about ticks, we were in long sleeves. And this is summer, long sleeves, hats,
That's true.
jeans. It was horrible.
I now wear scarves and old flight suits.
So we all made fun of her. We all went on this hike. We've gotten to where we don't worry about that. We're living life. She wakes up one morning and she's got target rashes.
Bullseye rashes.
That's right, bullseye rashes.
On myself. And I thought it was remember the crazy locust year?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then after that we had the tree mites.
Yep.
I was like, these tree mites are really getting to me. And look at this. And then I went to urgent care there at the village in Great Falls. And she was kind of alarmed and backed out slowly. Not like it's contagious or anything, but came in with full on, girl, you got Lyme's disease.
Yep.
And a course of
That
antibiotics.
shows that our fears create our realities, doesn't it? So the ticks freak Kelly out.
Yes.
So that is her.
And my neighbors still get to laugh at me, like behind my back. I think I haven't seen it.
No, they laugh at her. Well,
I haven't seen it with what I wear outside when I'm.
Oh, that's true.
Walking in woods.
Yeah. So anyway, that is.
And remember, I was like, "Oh, the prancing deer everywhere, every deer." Now I'm like, "Get that neighbor out there in our backyard to kill me some venison for supper."
So we have a neighbor that goes out and has a tree stand. He hunts deer out there. Yeah. We had a baby deer got in our backyard.
Oh.
And we went over there and we were trying to get it out, and of course it was freaking out, jumping against the fence. So I had to grab it and pick it up and carry it out.
I'll have to post the video of that. That was hilarious.
And as I'm carrying this thing out, all I can hear in the back of my mind is Kelly like ticks. Now she didn't say it, and I'm the one that actually checked.
Yeah, you were like, give me a tick check.
Yeah,
these tick checks are fun.
Yes. All right.
So that's it. Traffic, ticks, and cost of living.
And of course there are other negatives. Those are the top 3.
Like what would
if we wanted to come up with 10, we could say.
Guys, we don't have anything.
We just really love it here. All right, if you have any questions, please let us know. And if you're thinking about moving to the area, let us know. We have been here for about 5 years now, but it's still fresh enough in mind where, is that right? Fresh enough in mind?
In our mind,
where Kelly remembers all the research that she did, so she can help you through the process of trying to figure out where you want to go, what neighborhoods, what cities.
And the best tick repellent.
The best tick repellent.
And the best trails not to.
That's right. Well, you got in bed.
What?
You got in bed. We didn't hike that day.
No, I got it out on the front porch drinking wine.
Oh, that's right, on the front porch. Don't come to our front porch.
No, now we get we can also give you the best pest control and lawn services who spray your whole entire lawn for fleas and ticks every single year.
That fixed. Yeah. All right. Okay. Here we are with this week's market snapshot. What has happened in the Northern Virginia real estate market in the last 7 days in under 5 minutes? And
everybody, that orange line that goes. That's buyer activity. That's right. That's all you buyers who are out there doing some shopping, putting in offers, and getting under contract. The jaggedy blue line, that is the inventory. That is the
inventory, the
inventory
supply.
of the supply. The house is going on the market. Man, that was almost awesome.
Yep. Not true?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Orange line. So last week we had a significant drop in both inventory and buyer demand, or supply versus demand, because it was Memorial Day weekend. So everybody's out of town. Right. Again, creds to Ryan. He got under contract. He listened, got in there, took it over. Fantastic. So this week we had a little bit of a surprise. So usually when inventory drops like this, buyer activity is either going to stay flat or may actually drop a little bit more because there's not much inventory to buy. But we did have buyer activity pick up, and inventory did, as we expected, because we were now back into the market. So I expect inventory to continue to increase over the next few weeks, just as we go through this process, and then buyer activity should continue as well. Now the ratio of those, it'll be hard to tell. Is there more inventory than buyer activity? We'll just have to watch that and see. But our strength at the seller's market, it's still a strong seller's market. It did dip a little bit just because this gap narrowed. But I expect that to kind of stay here, maybe go up a little bit more, but I think that we're going to stay kind of in this range with regards to the strength of the seller's market. Yeah,
I mean, there was a report done, and I'm keeping it very, very brief, so don't give me the look. That here in our local Northern Virginia area, the increase in buyer activity, homes sold, have been over 13% increase over, I think it was over last year.
Number of transactions?
Yes, number of transactions as compared to nationwide, it actually dropped 1%. So when we keep saying our area, I mean, like, our area.
You know, that's a good point. I just ran some numbers for a client on a property they're buying. And Alexandria last year, median sales price between 1 year ago and this year, it was 12.7% appreciation in that area.
And it's because there is a reason for it, guys. It's not just because the sellers are money hungry. It's because the area is so amazing and it's in such high demand. The people here are intelligent. The jobs are incredible. And the climate, and forget what we said about ticks and traffic.
If you didn't see that report, then go look it up. The 3 things we hate about Northern Virginia. All right, we'll see you guys on next week's Market Snapshot. And now we are on to get on with Tatiana for the Mortgage Minute.
Bye.
Go.
Okay, and everybody, it's time for our Mortgage Minute with Tatiana.
Hey, Tatiana.
Hi, guys.
How are you doing?
How was your week?
Well, we can answer that better when we know what you're about to share with us about an interest rate.
All right. So actually the rate, went down a little bit comparing to the week before. They were kind of like all over the place. Rates on 30-year fixed and 15-year fixed and jumbo, they decreased. But on ARMs, they went up. ARMs are not super popular right now anyways, but on jumbos, they are more attractive than on conforming loan limits. And conforming, just to remind, is below 1.149825.
And that's in our area specifically, right?
Right, for metropolitan, DC metropolitan area specifically.
Okay.
So they're expecting another Fed announcement on June 12th. Let's see what happens then. But they think that they're probably going to be just one cut this year.
Okay. Now, didn't Europe just make their first cut for the year?
Exactly, yes.
Right. So that could be, I don't know if we follow Europe or not, but that could be a hopeful thing.
Well, yeah, we'll see. I'm sure there's some sort of influence, but yeah, they did cut the rates.
Okay.
Yeah. So right now, 7.03 on 30-year fixed, 6.5 on 15, 7.3 on jumbo being higher, having higher rates still. Historically, jumbos actually were lower, but in the past a few months, jumbos are higher. And FHA, VA, they are around 6.5.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good.
That's actually better news than I expected.
Is it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I already knew.
Good job,
I
Tatiana.
already-
Good job.
Thank you. I did everything I could to lower them.
You did. You've been working so hard this week. You did a
Whatever you
great
did,
job.
it worked. All right. Okay. So on to our question of the week. We are always talking about DTI,
Yeah.
or debt to income ratio, but we've never taken a deep dive into that. So teach us, what is it? How does it work? Why is it important? Like, give us all the info.
All right, let's do it. Debt to income ratio, or DTI. It's very important when we calculate how much person qualifies for.
Okay.
So basically, it's a percentage of monthly debt comparing to monthly income, simply put, right? So every loan, every type of loan has the guidelines on the maximum debt to income ratio. It cannot exceed certain percentage, and sometimes if it goes higher by 0.01% of the maximum limit, the loan is going to be ineligible. So we do look at DTI very closely when we approve someone. So let's say the situation, the example, so conventional loans.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, because this is a perspective I would have a question on. So I want to be able to make sure it's clear. So we're talking about monthly income versus monthly payment on the debt. We're not talking about gross debt, correct? Like, we're not talking about, I've got $35,000 in credit card debt. We're talking about, I've got $350 in credit card payments. Is that right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's a monthly, it's not the balance. We don't look at the balances.
Okay.
We look at monthly payments.
Okay.
And that's what we compare to the income.
Okay.
So on conventional loans, maximum debt to income ratio is 50%.
Okay.
So let's just have an example. It's going to be easy like this. So let's say the income is $10,000 a month. And we look at, if someone is on W-2 income, we look at the gross income before all tax, retirement deductions, what have you. So 10,000 gross income. And that means that this person can have maximum of monthly debt of $5,000 because that's 50% of the gross income, right?
Okay.
So then we're gonna look at their monthly expenses, like minimum required payments on credit cards. And I always stress out on minimum required payments on credit cards because a lot of people maybe pay all the credit cards balances completely. We don't look at that number. We look at what credit card asks them to pay. We look at car loan payments, student loans payments, whatever they might have. We don't look at utilities. We don't look at car insurance or gym memberships. We don't look at stuff like that. We'll look at whatever comes up on the credit report.
Okay.
For VA clients, we actually look at child care expenses. If they have children and they go to daycare, we actually factor it into this DTI calculations. But on conventional loans, just whatever comes up on the credit report. So
does alimony count as income?
So the alimony, if someone receives the alimony, we can count that as income or child support. If somebody pays alimony or child support, that's going to be an expense.
Okay.
So let's say in this particular situation, example, a person has $1,000 monthly obligation. So we're going to subtract it from that $5,000 maximum possible. And that leaves us with a remaining of $4,000 that's going to be the mortgage payment.
Okay.
Kind of going backwards, right? So that's this person will qualify for $4,000 monthly payment. What does it translate to in sales price? that's gonna depend on their down payment, because we need to know how much person is gonna put down. I can tell them what loan amount they qualify for, but again, depends on the down payment. The interest rate might be different. They might have some additional monthly charges like a mortgage insurance. That's why when I qualify someone, I need to know what their income is, the expenses are, and how much they're planning to put down. Without those three factors, it's gonna be really hard for me to tell what they qualify for.
You gotta know what ingredients are in their pantry before you can say, this is the meal you can make with it.
Yeah, and what type of property. So if they have $1,000 condo association fee, because they want to buy a condo, that lowers their mortgage qualification to $3,000 at that point.
Exactly. And that's another thing we ask, what type of property you would like to buy. Some people look at condos or townhouses, they're in between. So then I would tell them, if it's a townhouse, you're probably gonna have HOA dues of $100. This is your maximum for townhouses. If it's a condo and the condo dues are $800 a month, that's gonna be completely different price range.
You know, and this is a really important factor, because we just had a client that we're mutually working with right now, and they had a pre-approval letter from a lender that was a large VA lender, but is not a local lender, and their numbers are based on, honestly, their credit report and stated income and assets. That's it. They haven't looked at these things. So we don't know the validity of that letter. That's why we send them to you, because we need to know, because you'll pull the assets, you'll pull the expenses, you'll pull the, the income. So you know what that DTI is, what they can actually qualify for, because that DTI is that critical point.
And that's the other reason we have to have clients working with a lender that we can get in touch with, right? So that we can say, hey, how are we on a condo that, like, maybe you've pre-qualified them for this amount and they were looking at townhomes and suddenly they want to look at a condo. Hey, how are we with a condo at this price? And here's this is the condo dues, and you can say yeah or no. That's such a huge thing, because so many people without lenders at all, or ones that we can get in touch with, we'll show them 5 properties in a certain price range, just to find out later on down the line that, oh, we've got to lower the budget by $100,000.
And I think the relationship between lender and the realtor is very important, because like you mentioned, someone out of state and they don't really know you, they don't care to know you, they don't think about things like that they gave you one budget and you're gonna spend time, gas, money showing them properties, and then they're gonna say, oh, oopsie, this is wrong price range.
And wasting the client's time, I mean, they get devastated when they're used to looking here, and then suddenly they have to look here. Then they end up oftentimes having to take a couple of weeks off to lick their wounds from realizing that they can't have these things, and I just think that's not fair. That's not right.
Right.
Yeah. But you're right, Tatiana, you're right.
All right, Tatiana, how do people get in touch with you in case they need to find something out?
They can call me anytime at 571-245-3000.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great week, and we'll see you on next week's video.
Okay,
Bye.
see you soon. Bye.